I like that a lot. So you talked about this idea of like evolution by design kind of being this middle way, because I think a lot of times, especially like in the culture I grew up in, it's like, well, you have like the evolutionists on the one hand and you have like the creationists on the other hand, and there's no room for compromise. Like it's one or the other, and that's the way it is. So what is this idea of like evolution by design, and how could it kind of be the middle way that might be the way forward?
Yeah, so I like to think that this could be a middle way, that so there's this new scientific area that comes out. Darwin produces the theory of evolution by natural selection, and Christians can respond to this in various different ways. I guess the main ways are they can either reject it or they can accept it. And if they accept it, then a lot of people think, oh, well, then they have to accept the metaphysical things that Darwin is also assuming to do with the theory. Or they have to accept all of the interpretation that might come along with it. Or if they reject it, a lot of people think, well, you've got to reject it completely. But there's a bunch of possible middle ways where you accept some of it, or you just accept some scientific claims, but you reject the metaphysical claims, or you just accept some and reject others. So I think there's a lot of middle ground that a lot of people are exploring. But I would say fairly clearly, centrally in the middle, is this view that the evolutionary processes are true, that it is a good scientific explanation, but that it doesn't get rid of the deeper question of design. If the evolutionary mechanism had to be designed, had to be set up in a specific way in order to produce the kind of outcomes that we see. So if it turns out that you can make these evolutionary kind of design arguments, then you can have design arguments without having to reject evolution. Whereas pretty much all other design arguments in biology just assume that evolution is the problem and you need to find some alternative mechanism. And you need to show evolution doesn't work. You need to show some alternative way of how we got here. It could be that God actually used an evolution process and that it had to be set up in a fairly specific way in order to work. If that's true, then you can make some kind of design argument.